Hey Luca.
Hey, hey, can you guys see me?
Yeah, we can see
Yes.
you. We were like
Okay.
on a Zoom call. We're like in a corner window and we're chatting.
Okay, I
Yes.
can't see you, so I'm gonna free ball it.
Oh, you can't see us here.
Not yet.
We can.
Let's just do this.
It's because we're using
Oh,
the
we're
camera
using the
on
camera.
OBS,
You can't see
but we
us.
can maybe
We
do
look
this.
handsome. It's great. I'm in a burb jacket. Um, you can check us out on the Solana account live stream if you want.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do like let me just pull this up,
All right.
mute my phone, just because I feel like I'm speaking to like the ghost of Spencer's past here. So
This is the ghost of
uh
Spencer's future. This is, this is
yeah.
well. It's funny too, Luca, because I was saying like I think actually the first time we were on a panel together in Korea, but this is maybe the first time on like the internet that you and I have chatted since we kind of took over Moonbirds and stuff. But obviously, we've been friends for a while, so it's good to kind of get to see it on this side of things.
I got a lot of questions for you, so you let me know when you're ready to rock. And
Yeah, we're ready to rock. We're live now. I mean, go for it.
Okay, yeah, it's interesting because you are right. It is the first time, so obviously, congratulations. For people who are not familiar, Spencer was like our biggest holder of Pudgy Penguin assets for a long time, a close friend, and then obviously you embarked on Orange Cap Games, building the Vibes TCG product, which is the Pudgy Penguins TCG, and then obviously you took over Moonbirds. My first couple questions for you are, when we were building Pudgy and you were kind of like advising us and just doing that whole shebang. Um, Obviously, I think like sometimes I was like, dude, Spencer does not know how hard this shit is. Sometimes he's like, do this, do that. I'm like, bro, fuck, I'm doing a lot. And now that you've been in a position of leadership for the last 8, 9 months, how difficult is this? Is there any like do you have any like thoughts on watching us for the last couple of years? But I really more care about like, yeah, how has your perspective changed from like holder to owner, and what's your perspective today?
Yeah, well, so I've run companies before, like on the Web 2 side of things, right? And so like and been very active as an investor on the crypto side of things, and so you know, like this is way harder than Web 2 stuff, and like in a way that is hard to maybe appreciate, and I kind of knew that, which is also part of why I'm like doing this, right? Is
Yeah.
like I had backed a lot of great founders like you and many others, and like when I was investing as a Web 2 investor, I was like, I know the other side of this. I've been a Web 2 founder, but like there's also this part of it, so like I just don't know what this is like, and oh my god, is it hard? But it's also really rewarding for the same reasons that it's hard, and it's really rewarding and really hard because there's like a lot of this is in your control and a lot of this is not in your control, right? And what I mean by that is like you could wake up one day and the president of the United States made a move and it suddenly has greatly impacted your outlook for the next 2, 3 months and everyone's outlook for the next 2, 3 months. And it almost doesn't matter what you did, right? And I think the hardest thing is to not find that demoralizing because the flip side of that is like you also get this opportunity to prepare for like to build and build and build regardless of market so that when things are really good, you're like the best positioned. And I think this kind of happened to us earlier in the year where like there was an on-chain trading card meta card like Collectors Crypt launched their token and it did really well and like we had been for 2 years building a trading card game and it was like the premier physical product in crypto and we worked with you and all these things and like this was this moment of like all of the stars aligning and we got to do not only successfully there but then also we got to sell the blind boxes on Solana, right? This was like incredible, euphoric, all of the like puzzle pieces kind of fell into place at the same time. And then like you have December after 1010, the 1010 happens, you have and like this is like the complete opposite of that feeling is like, oh my goodness, like everything seems awful. Everyone like even Twitter impressions are down, and like not just on our account, like on everyone's account. Like the industry just like suddenly is completely different, right? Exchanges are working differently. Like everything has changed, and it's that part was completely out of our control. So it's like I think the hardest thing, and I don't know how you feel about this, but I have a lot more respect for founders, not just yourself, but others, but especially you too. Of like, like look, Pengu drew down like 90 some odd percent, right? Like that must have been really tough, and like, you. I guess I have a little bit more compassion, not a ton of compassion, but a little bit more compassion for the founders that just like give up, but also extremely more respect for the founders that like seeing how difficult that is. I can only imagine, right? Like that you guys not only stuck around but have like brought it back and like brought the community back and all those things is like I guess extra inspiring, right? Like I you know, yeah.
I appreciate that perspective, and I kind of thought the same thing. Now, let's give some alpha to the people watching. Like speaking candidly, you probably were the best NFT trader of the last 3-4 years. Like I don't know anybody percentage wise did better than you. Uh, so and that's just on the NFT side. I know you've made some good investments elsewhere. Now understanding your perspective as a founder, what do you think you wish you what do you think you wish you knew as an investor now that you're as a founder that you think could have allowed you to make better investments, and what was that learning? Like what would do you wish you knew back then that you now know that you think could have helped you make better investments even though you made already a bunch of great ones?
Yeah, I mean, I think that like, hindsight's always 2020, right? I think that the thing that I was right about is just like it takes a lot of determination and grit, and like there is a lot of reasons to quit, and you see a lot of opportunities to like quickly grift small amounts of money and like whatever, and like I see a lot of founders taking that. I think the number one thing you have to DD is like, do they care about the bigger picture? Are they here for the bigger picture, or are they here for the quick exit? Because like
Right.
certainly as a crypto founder, like you get given opportunities for quick exits and all these kind of things, and like you know I see why they are attracting to some people, and like really what you're DDing at the end of the day is like how much does this person and this founding team care about their reputation long run? Like how much do these people actually, are they going to show up after the token's down 92%? Are they going to show up like day after day? Are they going to keep fighting when it gets tough? Or are they like, my grandmother was a fair weather skier. We called her that because if it rained, if it snowed a little bit too much, she wouldn't ski. If it like snowed a little bit not enough, she wouldn't ski. If it was a little too warm, she would. But like once every like month that we were out skiing, she would ski, right? And there are founders that are kind of like that. They're like participants in the ecosystem only when the weather is good, and like these people just like don't win in the long run fundamentally, or like especially the people that back them don't win. And so I think a big learning for me is like just seeing all of the temptations and all of the things that exist of like the easy ways out. Like how do you diligence who's not going to take that? Who's actually here to build the like really big thing? Who's actually here to build over a longer period of time? And like I think understanding more of the pitfalls they could have fallen into like helps me see who those people are, like who is the person. Like as you said, I was good at NFT trading. I was good at NFT trading largely because I backed Pudgy, right? And like if you looked at the sea of collections at the time, this was like during the FTX collapse, like why does this make sense? I was like, Luca kind of already made money, and so like the amount that he needs to make off of this for it to be relevant to him is exponentially larger. I like this, right? It's not like whatever matters, and B, like you were a market participant, like you knew about the market and like you'd been on the other side of it, and you have some compassion for the holders, like and all that kind of thing. Like it matters, do people actually care? Because like if people want to rug, there's no way to stop them from rugging, right? And like you just have to diligence in your heart of hearts. Do you think this person's gonna like rug or not? And that's the main thing.
It's a phenomenal assessment, and I think the people listening, just some advice. Like every investment I've ever made that wasn't a public market investment, so like every venture or private investment I've ever made, remove everything from the equation. The winners were the deals that won were because the founder made them win, right? And the deals that lost were because the founder didn't have it. It never came down to the idea, never came down to any of that. It came down to who was the person at the helm. And that's why I was actually so excited that you got into the NFTs, and I was telling the guys this, it just feels good to have sometimes you can have like a really inwards mindset. As I mature, I'm starting to get a more outwards mindset, but like you being in our arena was great in the sense that like for the it's been a while since I saw somebody do something that I was like, oh, we can do that, right? Or that was really smart. And I think we just all make each other better, and I think that just speaks to you and kind of that assessment. I think a lot of people always try to index in NFT land the pretty picture or the art, in token blockchain land the tech and the thesis. But no matter how many ways you skin the cat, it really comes down to who's at the helm of the ship, and do they want it, and do they want to swing big? And all the ingredients you said about me, Spencer, you have the same. So I'm excited to see you cook here. I know you got a big stretch ahead of you. I'm not going to try to pull any burb alpha out of you unless you want to give me some, but I know that's coming sooner rather than later. So I'm excited for you to announce that and tell the world exactly when that's coming. Sometime soon, I would imagine. And yeah, how are you feeling about the whole token side? Obviously, you were a huge component in terms of over the years really telling me that this is where all this stuff goes. Uh, I'm really thankful for your advice over the years in that regard. Like, how are you feeling with this thing, coming sooner rather than later? What's your thoughts? How are you looking at it?
Yeah, I mean, like, look, it's an incredibly exciting moment that's coming up, but it's not just a moment. It's like a shift in like what we fundamentally need to do. I think you and I have talked a lot about this. Of like, NFTs is a huge part of my arc in crypto. It's a huge part of like this company's arc. It's a huge part of like what crypto was and is in the mainstream. When it comes to like levels of just like public knowledge of crypto, the 21 cycle like gave like, NFTs were just known by everyone, right? Like it's this very like ubiquitous thing. And but today within the scope of crypto, NFTs are not what they were in 21, right? I don't think we have to pretend like they are. And you know, what NFTs have always been great at accomplishing is like building community, company, all these things up till a certain point, and then like the token has this much bigger like size of what it can be, right? Like the biggest tokens are much larger than the biggest NFTs, and so like as you kind of hinted at, like when we came in and we acquired Moonbirds, right? There's maybe 5 or 6 companies that are like relevant in NFTs. It's maybe that many, and they're not. The majority of them are not in their heyday, right? And like when we move into the fungible token side of things, like there are a lot more tokens that are relevant. There are a lot more tokens that are backed by good companies, but there's also a lot bigger of an outcome potential there, right? And so when I look at that, I think like I am incredibly excited for the opportunity to play in an arena that has not only more upside, but even more competitors and more things going on in it, right? Like it's incredibly exciting to me, and also to innovate in that arena, right? Like, I think a lot of what we do, it's funny. A lot of other NFT products started doing blind box stuff after we did blind boxes.
Yeah, we were one, and that's to my earlier point. Like, it inspired us for that. I was like, this is genius, right?
Well, but it's funny because people reach out. They're like, "Do you care? Like, are you upset that they're doing this?" I was like, "No." And like, do you understand how much stuff I copy from them? Like, like I am happy that we just like did something that was cool and then it formed a meta, right? Like that's kind of cool. And so as we go into the token side of things, like the hope is that we can do that there too. I think it's a lot tougher, but I also think it can be a lot more rewarding. And also, there's just a lot more like people, right? It's kind of all the same people in the NFT space. When we first acquired the project, there's a period of time where it was really easy, to bring in new people to Moonbirds because it's like, okay, there's this constrained pool of NFT traders. Like they're all coming into Moonbirds, like slowly they're figuring that out, right? For like fungible tokens, like the pool is exponentially larger, right? The pool of people trading NFTs hasn't grown substantially in a while. They're just kind of swapping between each other. But the pool of fungible token traders grows, it shrinks, it shifts all the time. Like this is like orders of magnitude larger. And so I'm excited to kind of enter that arena. I mean, how is it for you, right? Like Pengu, the transition from being Pudgy Penguins NFT to like Pudgy Penguins and also having Pengu was really substantial, I think, in like the scope of what Pudgy Penguins was in crypto. Like, how did this go for you guys?
Yeah, I think it was the best decision we ever made for a lot of reasons, but I think you had this like the unfortunate part is like you can't like if the wins are against you, the wins are against you. And I think like NFTs I think will come back bigger and better. Will always be consistent in that. But like to be able to have an asset that anyone can be a part of was really exciting. Like what does being a crypto holder really mean? The way that I look at it is it's like it's alignment, right? And it's more champions and it's more people in the arena screaming your name, right? And like at the end of the day, like if you don't have a holder base, like you don't have people in the arena screaming your name, and then you don't become very relevant in the arena. And so I think for us, like having the token, like really put us in a position where it's like, dude, you can buy us on Robinhood. Like I was 16 years old on Robinhood, like poking
Yeah.
around like that. That's so cool to see friends that I know would never touch an NFT because like they don't want to dish out $20,000, coming to me saying, look, I put $300 in this, let's ride. It was exciting. It opened the door in terms of being able to grow that army and grow that base. And then it just like allowed us to like learn a lot of things that I think you just couldn't learn in the NFT space. Like the similarities between TradFi and the token stuff is so much more similar than I think. Obviously, like we have IPO ambitions, like being able to just learn and feel and just understand what it looks like, to have something that trades in such a liquid fashion. With NFTs, you take a guy to the right dinner. Remember, I took you to sushi, right? Hiawatha in Miami, and it's like, all right, Spencer's gonna buy 50 NFTs, versus like you can't really do that in token land, and like 50 NFTs, you sweep, it goes up 20%. It's a different strategy. It's a broader stroke, I feel like. And like, if you actually want to create and I think lean into the benefits of crypto, which I believe is that financial alignment, I think naturally there becomes a ceiling on the NFT side simply because of the price element, right? Like at a certain point, it becomes a rich person's game, and that's a good and a bad. It can be a great thing and like, look, NFTs and coins have both their pros and cons respectively, right? Like there are huge pros to being able to take one man out to sushi, right, and spend $600, and then him like bumping your market cap up 80 million bucks, and like the community being stoked, and like there's and the collectability and the personality and the identity of it, right? And then on the coin side, you have the liquidity and the barrier to entry and the ability for people to join. I actually think like for a while, right? We were convinced just via like 2021 narratives that like doing the two where it was a mistake. I actually think like and you're a part of this meta now. Like I actually think it's the complete opposite. I think it's a benefit.
Well, I've always been the advocate for that, right?
Yeah, you've always been the advocate. Even back in 2022, and everyone was like, "It's a huge mistake," right? It was only a huge mistake because the case studies at the time made you feel that way. But they obviously, like, for example, like, dude, like, elephant in the room is like ApeCoin just got a bad beat, dude. Bad market time, bad thing. Like, dude, like if ApeCoin launched 6 months earlier, it's different, right? And like, how can you box that in? And those guys are now doing amazing work on other side. I played that for the first time. I don't know if you played that, Spence.
Yeah, no, it's great.
It's great. It's great. So like, look, they both have their pros and cons, but ultimately, I think it's almost necessary to have the two and to tell that story. And it's a different flavor, right? Like some people have asked me, aren't you worried about IPOing and what it does? And I'm like, look, the IPO buyer is not the crypto buyer.
No,
right?
Yeah.
It's a two completely demographics. Maybe 1% crosses over, maybe.
Well,
right?
and like we've de-risked this already, right? Like, do you remember the run that CloneX went on when an artifact got acquired by Nike? Like the idea that like if a public company had its own native thing that was really native and good, like clones went from like 2 ETH to 20 ETH when that acquisition happened. Like I don't think that I think that anyone who's like
he was down 1% on the day, like no one.
Yeah, it's definitely bullish, and we see so much more interplay between public markets and crypto, like very suddenly. Like that's been one of the craziest things over the last couple of months. Is like public markets just matter so much more to crypto, and like the investors are looking at it more closely. And we had the New York Stock Exchange start to like saying they want to tokenize like stocks. Like the crossover is happening, like it's here, and I think it's kind of funny too because like. Well, actually, this is a funny one. So we were at San Diego Comic-Con a few months ago because we did via the Pudgy Penguins trading cards that we make collab with PSA, the grading company. We were giving out cards at their booth, and like I had maybe it was per day 5 or 6 people come up to me and show me like $20 of Pengu they owned on like Coinbase or Robinhood or something like that, and like. I just looked in their eyes and I was like, oh, this is not an NFT collector. This is like a collectibles person that has a little bit of this and they're so proud of it and they're so excited. And like, that's sort of the magic of like what I think a token can do is like, I mean, how many holders do you guys have on chain right now for Pengu?
Just under 1 million on chain. Under more than 1 million because it's like 800 on Solana and like 200 on Abstract. So over 1 million on chain, dude. And sexes you can't even quantify. Millions of people.
Yeah. And so like there's just like there's literally not millions of NFTs. There's not even hundreds of thousands of NFTs. Like you just could never achieve that scale of distribution. And like, I mean, I think you and I are aligned that like the thing that crypto needs right now is not necessarily like faster block times or whatever. It's like more distribution, more like getting in the hands of the people, like winning them over. Like the marginal tech innovation is not as important as it once was to the growth of crypto. Like now it's the marginal reach, it's the marginal person. It's like that millionth holder of Pengu, that 2 millionth holder of Pengu, that 10 millionth holder of Pengu. Like same with Burb is like I'm thinking like, how do we get it out to more and more and more people? Because like that's growth, that's scale, that's like has to be what matters.
Yeah, I totally agree, dude. How are you? How's your community feeling? Obviously, I'm a pretty big Moonbirds holder, but I'm not in the. I don't have time to spend time in the trenches and other people's community as much as I probably want to. What's the vibe been over there, and what do we have to look forward to over the next 6, 12 months? Maybe the next week. I don't know. You tell me. What's to look forward to in 2026 for Moonbirds and future Burb holders?
Yeah, I mean, like, look, the greatest thing about Moonbirds was like, so Moonbirds was top NFT project back in the day. I think 40th floor price at some point came all the way down, like basically to nothing. And so when we got it, like the people who had stuck through that wave, like they were just excited, and they've been excited, and they've been this incredible community that's just been really engaged, and just wanted to see someone do something with it. And I think like there was always this idea of like building towards a fungible token, and it like never really happened, and kind of kept. And like this was a thing when we acquired Moonbirds from Yuga Labs, and I talked to Garga, like one of the things I was like, we're actually going to do the thing. Like, we're actually going to do Burb token. Like we announced it. Like we're actually going to make it happen, right? And so obviously, like the big thing to look forward to is that I think we've teased a little bit Burb Game 1, which is going to be a fun kind of experience as part of it. Like that I like to do things that are a little funky, a little nerdy, a little heady, and so there's some fun stuff kind of coming up in some of the rollout there. But I think really like there's kind of two core things. I think the biggest moment is going to be seeing the greater distribution for the IP that having a fungible token allows us to have is going to be really meaningful. Expanding who the community is very substantially. I mean, we're talking like the difference between just NFT holders and then like NFT holders plus all the token holders is going to be like 100 to 1,000x more people in the community, right? In some capacity. And so I think like that growth can be really scary, but I think it's really exciting. And then also like, look, like we have a lot on our product roadmap. I think we acquired Moonbirds like something like 7 months ago, right? And we shipped physical blind boxes that were 12 plus 2. Like the manufacturing of that we did in like a number of months. Like many people do not understand how insane that is. That is a product that usually takes 16 to 18 months to make that we did in like 3, right? And so that's the product we get with 3 months. Like there's a bunch of stuff that's under development that's like physical collectible product over the next like 12 months, 18 months, etc. And even like more runs of that type of product, like now we have a proof point, now we have distributor demand, like now we can place it in physical retail, those kind of things. So that's super exciting. And ironically, like we were planning to put this run in physical retail, but so much of it sold digitally because it was like 80,000 units or so sold at $25 a piece. It was like $1.7 million in 24 hours through Collector's Crypt on Solana. It was the largest ever like RWA sale on Solana, primary sale. And like that was a lot of factory time to make all of that. So we are just now manufacturing the units that are for distribution to the stores because we were like, we actually just don't have enough product to give to you. That was how great the demand was. But that's like a good problem to have, right? So we're I think like we're excited to see is like this on store shelves, like in front of people, like those kind of things. But specifically like in the collectibles realm, right? Like we're very hyper focused on collectibles, right? That's like the thing that we view as kind of like the way to go.
It looks like OCAP Games have multiple products then on the shelves of retailers. Maybe that's some alpha for the audience.
Yeah, well, I mean, already, right? We've brought with you guys the Vive CCG is distributed.
We got some good ones. I just talked to Steve this morning. He was like,
"Oh yeah, so there's some good ones coming." Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you want to leak some of this alpha, but
yeah, you'll see Vibes in major big box TCG or big box retailers, not even TCG, and one of the big 3 for sure this year. So excited to partner with you on that.
Yeah, well, I mean, because again, like many people may not know this, but like you and I have done a bunch of stuff together. Like, how has that been watching the TCG come to life for you?
Dude, you once I saw that from you, that changed a lot of my perspective on just like Spencer the entrepreneur. I mean, that is a world-class product. I mean, even to this day, like I don't know how you put in so much love, energy, and thought into that, and it is so good and so competitive to other TCGs out there. Like people don't even know, like if you've never bought a Vibes TCG, you should. You won't find 3 TCG products out there right now that are more well done, from the gameplay to the actual card quality. I know you guys did the Orange Core stuff. The Legend of the Littles feels so good. It's like ASMR, just shuffling those things. That just showed me what type of entrepreneur you were. I knew what type of dude you were, and I obviously knew what type of investor you were. I never knew what type of entrepreneur you were, and that to me showed me and you didn't even tell me. Crazy thing is, Spencer was so good at not leaking the Moonbirds alpha, he didn't even tell me ahead of time. But that's when I knew the second you bought it, I bought a bunch of Moonbirds. I was like, because he's gonna crush it. There's no way he's not gonna crush it. So I'm excited for you. But yeah, you hit that product out of the park. And I encourage anybody listening, if you've never bought a Vibes TCG box before, you should. And dude, those first editions are like 4 or 5x the boxes. I mean, what's going on in first edition box land? It's pretty incredible.
I mean,
like, spending $1,000 buying some first edition boxes, I'm like, what is this?
I mean, dude, it's like, I think we said this earlier in the call, it's like, there's just not that many like premier collectibles products, physical and crypto, and like there's not that many premier IPs in crypto, right? And like this is a first edition of like a premier collectible with a premier IP. Like it just makes sense. Like you just don't have to think that hard about it. And like, there's not like, it feels in some ways like we made a lot of product, but like relative to the runs of like One Piece or Pokemon or any like it is like 1/1000th the size of that print run. So like, as people start to wake up to it, and we saw that sort of in that moment, like there's just not that much of it out there, right? And that's kind of by design, and that's part of what should make it fun. And it's been out for like a year now, which is feels like a lot of time, but it's not that much time, right? Like think about 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, right? Like will Pudgy Penguin still be around? Definitely. Will crypto still be around? Definitely. Will OCG still be around? Definitely, right? And like it's not like we can go back in time and make something before that. Like Vibes, Enter the Huddle, first edition booster boxes, Pudgy Penguins, like that's the OG there. And so,
oh my God, you're selling me, because you know what I'm thinking about? I'm like, do I just buy a shit ton of these at $1,000 a box and just stomach it? The thing is this, I bought a ton for the company, and I was just ripping through all the inventory. I probably ripped 50 boxes, which today would be about 50 grand. But I'm hating myself for it, because I literally told myself the exact same thing. I'm like, wait a second, Luca. Holding these boxes is kind of a bet on you. And like, I know I'm here for the next 10, 15 years. This product is one of the best products within the Pudgy Penguin ecosystem, if not the best. Like it's arguably like, top 3 unequivocally. And it's a TCG product, which is the hottest category in CPG. And it's not going anywhere. It's only getting bigger, right? Like cards have struck a nerve with people that is not going to disappear. Right. And like, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, first edition Pokemons are going for what, $0.25? I'm like, dude, I see a day easily where these things are going for 10 a piece.
Yeah, I mean, like first edition Pokemon's going for like $250,000, right? But there's a lot of first edition Pokemon, like a lot more. Like the print run was much larger, right? So like, you got to compare apples to apples, right? Even like first edition V-Friend stuff goes for like 7-10 grand first edition boxes for them right now.
Really?
Yeah. V-Friend
Gary's doing that. Don't tell me that.
Yeah. So I think that's like, dude, people
with the win.
With the win.
Is it really going? Because I know, he's kind of been a dark horse in all this.
I think
just building, but dude, every TCG shop that I go to
has
the little Gary V turnables. Have you seen those? What are those called? You know what I'm talking about? That spit out the little balls.
Yeah, I mean, like, look,
he's
like
everywhere.
And as he should be, right? Like that's like
it's Gary V.
It's Gary V, right? And also like respect to someone who stuck around. Like he could have easily sunset the project, right? Like he has enough influence, he's enough else going on in his life that he could have done that. But like this is where I was like, when you look at someone, like, are they gonna like stick it out? Are they gonna continue to pursue it? And like he's keeping on going. Like he's in the arena doing stuff. And so lots of respect.
Not only did he stick it out, but I'm gonna give him some grace, because I'm gonna be honest. When I first came into this, you know me, like I'm a competitor, so I'm like looking at everybody, and for a while there, I was like, Gary, come on, man, like push our space forward. But I learned something recently, which actually gave me a lot of grace towards Gary, and honestly a lot of respect, because like I didn't really understand the strategy until recently. Sometimes the market's against you. right? And rather than continuously beating a dead horse and arguably sometimes maybe leading people to the slaughter, right? Unintentionally, obviously, right? Like, and I felt like he's just so experienced that he was like, look, the top was in, he let it kind of reconsolidate, and now he's back at it again. And in that little like gap window, I was like, where's Gary Vee in all this, right? Because he kind of wasn't like, he wasn't beating a dead horse necessarily, like, he wasn't like championing it every day like he once was. But I actually really appreciate the strategy in hindsight, right? Because what he was really doing is he was just letting kind of the market acclimate, right? And letting it kind of find a bottom and letting itself figure itself out, right? And then when he felt like that bottom was in, he kind of started championing again, right? And like that was a really interesting thing that I think I don't know if that was his intention or not, but like,
one thing that I noticed that was always interesting to me was there was a winter for VFriends NFTs, but there was never a winter for VFriends physical collectibles. Like even at the depth of the crypto bear market, like the physical collectibles, I mean, they were down, but not anywhere near them. Like they're not down 90%.
Those cards, some of those rare cards were always
and like this is just the thing with physical collectibles and why they're so good for IP development is like one of the things about them is they're just annoying to ship, right? There's this like it's so easy to sell a token, sell an NFT, but it's kind of annoying to ship and sell like physical products. And so like the circulating float of any physical product is just like exponentially lower than you feel like it is, just because like there's so much friction to sell it that like people don't often do. And so that you can have more supply and like have less be on the market at any given time. Like it's a very interesting dynamic to watch, right? And it really kind of feeds itself because at some point you have to look at the VFriends trading cards and be like, okay, first edition boxes are $10,000. The NFT is like $3,000. Like at what point does like not make sense, right? And I think it's very symbiotic in how they kept each other relevant in a really meaningful way.
Yeah, dude. I'm looking at Gary's stuff right now. I have tons of respect, dude. I didn't know his eBay was popping like this.
Yeah.
Let me
taking notes.
Holy shit. My God, Gary Vee, dude.
But I mean, look, like even Vibes, like the sketch cards from Vibes that we made for you guys, like there was one that sold at Golden Auctions for $12,500. Like that's like the price of a first edition Charizard, like a single card, right? Like
yeah,
that's pretty meaningful. That's pretty substantial.
That's super meaningful,
right?
I remember you did the Golden's auction.
Yeah.
Oh, these Vibes. I'm looking now. Vibes, that little dip in these boosters. I'm gonna sweep the shit out of these, I think. Yeah, these are. Yeah, this is. Some of these are good prices. Okay, it's time. I had to see nets in the eBay order book. Some dudes are gonna try to front run me.
Are you gonna keep them sealed? Or are you gonna?
I'm sealing. No.
You're gonna have self control this time.
Yeah, I'm just gonna score these. Yeah, this is an easy bet, dude. I can sweep some of these for. Yeah, this is an easy bet.
I went down to Miami one time, and like right after the boxes got delivered, and we were like, they're like, oh, like we're missing all these boxes. Like, where are they? And we found Luca like in his office, just like ripping them.
Dude, I didn't even want you to say anything because I don't even want to say it here. I might have commingled a couple company funds and ripped inventory I wasn't supposed to. Don't clip that. It wasn't that much. It wasn't that. We got a good deal from Spencer, but yeah, I probably ripped a little too much inventory than I should have. No, you did a phenomenal job on those, dude. Like I'm super serious. You should be so proud.
Appreciate it.
You want to talk Burb a little bit? I mean,
yeah.
When are we gonna know about this thing? When do we know the date? When give me some clues. I know you're not gonna tell me, but give me some clues. Am I gonna know sooner rather than later?
Yeah, it's gonna be sooner rather than later, I would say. I mean, look, like things are definitely heating up. We said early Q1. There's not that much early Q1 left.
Oh, you did say so Q1, early Q1.
We said early Q1. We didn't just say Q1. We said early Q1.
You didn't just say Q1. You said early Q1.
So like, there's not that much early Q1 left, right?
No.
So.
I mean, anything past February 15th is not early Q1. So I would assume sometime before now in February 15th. Is that fair?
I mean, I don't know, like you can do math, I can do math, we can all do math, right?
Okay.
We said what we said, the public knows it.
Okay, early Q1. Yeah. So you heard it.
I mean,
early Q1 means anything past February 15th is mid to late Q1. So that means we got 30 days here probably. And I know we've been helping you a little bit in terms of just, trying to give you some of our learnings, things like that. So I know you're doing, I know you got a lot of things I think you're looking good, dude. I think you've got a lot of ingredients going on over there. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see you join the token arena.
No, and I appreciate it, dude. It's lots of love. Like I think everyone was like, oh, like Pudgy and you are competitors. I'm like, dude, if we're competitors, this space is cooked. Like
Super
Pudgy is
cool.
one of the few companies that like actually pushes things forward. Like we do different things too. It's like it has to be the case that like we want to see each other win because like if it's really like the only way we can win is by eating each other's lunch, then there's just like it's just over. Like that just can't be what this is.
And you know the beauty about it, Spence, is like we're friends and like, dude, me and you will sit there and be like, yeah, we compete, but we want to see each other win, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's
But I also
really
want to see you
offensive,
compete
though.
because I
Right.
don't want to sit here and not have a competitor. That is
Right.
like, what are we doing, dude? Like we're
Right.
both competitive people. Like, like you
That's
can't
what I
want
wish
to win.
more people could do. I wish more people were like you, Spence, in the sense that like we can compete, but then we can also have ramen and rip TCG cards together.
Yeah,
But then
exactly.
while we're ripping TCG, we can like talk about how we're competing and how it's fun.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. We can
Everyone
talk
thinks
smack, right?
competition's like PvP. Like it's not necessarily that, right? It's
No,
about
yeah.
being a dog and being a, you know what I mean? And like it doesn't mean you fucking have to hate each other and that competition has this negative connotation
No,
that
you
like
should respect your competitor. That's like how competition works, right? Like you should have nothing. There should be respect, and like when you see someone do something cool, you're like, oh, dang, like, why didn't I think of that first? Like that's the like you should be like when I see you guys execute something and that I didn't think of, I'm like, dang, like I'm mad at myself. I'm like, why didn't I think of that? Like that's so smart, right? It's not like screw those guys and like everyone supports them. No, it's like also like still own a ton of Pudgies. Like I still want to see you guys win. Like we're very aligned, and so it's just it's kind of a funny thing across the board there.
agreed. I think all the top NFT projects need to like we should all just give each other a little bit of equity.
Luca's trying to mine for some equity here.
Hear that, Garga? I want to to that other side, brother.
Luca's always
I feel like me and him should be way closer, but you know, some of those apes just love to pit us against each other for no reason.
no, it's a cultural thing, you know. I
Yeah.
like one of the funniest things that happened in the last couple of months was I made a joke about like apes don't read. And like I got a bunch of bored apes coming out being like angry, and I'm like, dude, like I'm an OG ape. Like this was a meme. This is an OG ape meme. Was like us being like apes don't read, right? Like that was that was like part of the culture. And like, yeah, I mean, it's just so funny to see how the culture's evolved and like the different things it's been through. And like, I mean, even 2021, like 2022, 2023, like to now is just like now we have Gen Z interns and they're the young guys and they're running all this kind of stuff. Like it's just a different world than I think it was before, and it's mature and like the government talks about it and like it's crazy.
And, you know, there's a little bit of that old culture coming back. There's this guy, you know,
I see it.
the Adam Weitzman.
Yeah.
I gotta make an effort to meet the guy because the dude is
I'll connect you guys.
you get five more Adams in the picture, and we might just be back. You know, this
Yeah.
guy's pretty awesome. I've been so tired the last couple of months. I haven't been able to muster the energy to do any of that IRL stuff. But I got to meet the guy because that's a dude who's just like, man, talk about we had. You know, people are forgetting, but like the NFT bull run was driven by like 10 guys like that, right?
Yeah.
And that just kicked off everything. So, you know, have you met Adam Spence? I've actually never talked about this with you privately.
Yeah. I mean, Adam owns one of the legendary moonbirds, like one of the glitch moonbirds. But he and I have talked about a bunch of things. He also, you know, I think was involved with the Dick Butts acquisition. You know, I'm a big Dick Butt guy, so
That's
so
right.
like there's like a bunch of stuff going on. No, I have a lot of respect for him. We've chatted a bunch of times. You know, he holds some moonbirds, and again, like I appreciate too. He's coming at it from perspective of like, you know, he was super successful in sort of Web 2 ways and wants to come and like expand what this is and hang out and support founders and builders. And he's got sort of those outside resources and stuff. He's just like a great net positive to kind of what's going on, not only in our ecosystem, but just like NFTs overall. Like, and speaking about like not caring about competition, like every time that I see him pick up a grail from any collection, I'm just excited that people are collecting grails and NFTs. Like, not like, it's not even like, oh, like, why isn't he buying my bags instead of theirs? It's like, no, this is just someone who's enjoying this. Like he wants to win. He wants everyone else to win. And like, he's kind of already made his money and this is like him kind of giving back. And that's just like a cool vibe to have. And I agree. Like the 21, 22, there was a lot more people like that. I think they are starting to come back. I think a lot of them are coming in from TradFi. And I think you see the same thing where like a lot of them, like there's a lot of people in TradFi who made their moves like as soon as it started to pop off. But the really smart guys, I think, have been lurking and learning. And there's more of this bubbling behind the scenes than I think people realize. Is like there are more really rich people and really rich companies and really like resourced projects kind of simmering in the background. They're like, clearly there's something here. Oh my goodness. Pax. We had your Zoom free trial ended.
What?
Mid interview with Luca.
No. What?
Let me text him.
Okay, let's go back over to here for a minute. Oh my gosh. I was just over there coordinating our next guest, and that really happened.
All right, we're back on.
I guess.
Nice.
Are we back live?
I thought that was me. I was like, fuck.
No, we had to switch rigs for the Burbathon because of a tech issue, and so this one does not have Zoom Premium yet.
You know what's so funny? Pengu's full name. So Pengu's full name is Paxton Pengu, right? Like his Pengu is his moniker.
Yeah.
But Pax Ross over
Yes.
here.
Yes. Real
Top
name.
G.
Real name is actually
Top G.
Paxton.
Pax is a top G, but Pax, you're like literally like when you get a girlfriend, you gotta send her your content. Be like, this is me. Like this is me.
Oh, there you go.
That's a good idea. I should say.
Luca with the Riz Alpha.
I mean, if your name is Pax, dude, you got
Paxton.
I gotta hedge
Pudgy
that.
Penguins account every day.
Yeah.
This is how Luca gets those impressions.
Yes.
That's one
great
show at a
thinking.
time.
Hey, look, the Pudgy Penguins IG is an amazing Riz tool, though.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah,
I would agree.
Don't. I'm not even biased saying that. It's just like great Riz to send that to a woman you like.
Yeah.
Spence, I got 10 more minutes for you. I want to end it a little early because I got to drive somewhere really far. Where do you want to take this thing?
I mean, it's up to you, dude. Like, we just want to come hang out. Like, what's next? Do we get any Pangu Alpha? Like, what's going with you?
The Pengu Alpha. We got a lot of. Somebody called me a salesman on Twitter earlier today. So I'm gonna try.
As you should be. By the way, wait. Pause is like, this is not FUD. Someone who's shilling your bags. This is a good thing. This is exactly what you want. You want someone who's gonna go out there and be like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, but he was implying that I was a salesman that needs to support it a little bit better. He was referring towards some of the stuff at Abstract, but I was like, oh fuck it. He was trying to say it in a derogatory way, but to your point, you're right. You better hope your founder is a fucking salesman.
Yeah, what's the alternative?
Yeah. You're super fucked.
Yeah.
You're just sitting there twiddling your thumbs. You got to sell for them, which is it's like the worst case scenarios if the holders have to sell on behalf of the company and the team, and the founder can't at least lead by example. But actually, specifically on the Abstract side, I mean, dude, it's all gonna come. It's all gonna everything we've been working on. The people are gonna know about like soon. I know I've been saying that for a while, but it's like it's right in front of us now. And on the Pudgy Penguin side, dude, I'm taking like retail experiential very seriously this year. So this is actually alpha for you, Spencer. I know a guy. I met a group, and I'm actually going to invest in them. I'm going to share it to the world post investment. But these guys are crushing IP experiential retail to this form of like they do no money online. These guys will do a pop up and do like $5 million in a month.
Wow.
And like most people are like, $5 million, like dude, $5 million in one location is insane.
That's insane. Yeah, for physical retail.
Also, Jellycat doing this. So Jellycat's doing something.
Yeah, the Jellycat cafes. Oh my god, the content that comes out of that is so good. People understand too. This is like, for everyone's context, this is mostly what Luca and I talk about when we talk. Is like this kind of stuff because it's so interesting. Like, marketing is a really easy place to spend a lot of money really stupidly, and it's also the best way to spend money really, really smartly to grow your brand. And like, there's not that many people on the cutting edge of like what's interesting, right? And like physical experiential retail. You got a guy now?
Yeah, I got a guy, and I got the into that. And just so people know, Spencer and I are like super nerds, right?
Yeah.
Like, so we love it. That's actually where we get along, like where I think we found a lot of like comfort in each other over the years. Just like you get, dude. Dude, you were gifting me 151s Pokemons, and I go through my book, dude. Like, I was ripping cards, Spence, that are now worth like $1,000 that I was just like putting in like a little binder.
Dude, those boxes. When I was gifting those to you, those boxes were like $50. They're like $200-300 now, just the box.
No, it's insane. I was like, wait, Spencer Loki blessed it. I was talking to my girlfriend. I was like, dude, Spencer blessed the shit out of us because look at these pulls. I sent some things off to PSA. I was like, this is insane. I actually owe you for that because that was very kind. For a good month when I was going through it, you were just subsidizing my emotions with just Yu-Gi-Oh. Okay, but let's just talk really quick. I'm gonna tell you, you know what I think that Yu-Gi-Oh has to have a Monster Bull Run. I am so shocked that it's not having a Monster Bull Run because it's the only. Now I get it's on the darker side, but it's
No, I'll tell you the issue with Yu-Gi-Oh. No, so because I agree, like I'm so nostalgic. I love Yu-Gi-Oh, but the problem is they reprinted the cards you're nostalgic for in the same art, in the same frame, so many times that like there's just a lot of like.
That's what it is.
That's what it is. Like you can go to Walmart right now and buy a $25 box that has all 3 Egyptian god cards in it, all 5 pieces of Exodia, and like 3 different Blue Eyes White Dragons in one box for $25. And it just it wrecked a lot of the collectability of it, unfortunately. Now that being said, the other problem is the game. So Yu-Gi-Oh has no like mana resources. There's no resources in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh, so you can play all of the cards on the first turn. So the game of Yu-Gi-Oh always ends on either the first turn or the like imaginary turn before the first turn. And so it's made the competitive scene kind of like not that fun. But I am so nostalgic. Like when we designed Vibes, we had the first season of Yu-Gi-Oh like playing in the background. Which, by the way, if you haven't rewatched Yu-Gi-Oh, go rewatch the first episode. The first episode of Yu-Gi-Oh is the craziest episode of any TV series ever because they like summon Exodia, the fight with Pegasus. Everything you remember about Yu-Gi-Oh happens in literally the first episode in the pilot.
Oh, I'm doing that tonight.
Yeah,
literally tonight. Where do you watch it? Netflix or?
I think it's on Netflix. Yeah.
But I thought I was like, dude, it's the only TCG where like the whole idea of Yu-Gi-Oh is predicated around those cards. But the reprint data point is not one that I knew, and that's why I love you because you are a lot brighter than me. You go down these rabbit holes.
We're just nerds about different things. Like Luca's a nerd about like experiential retail, and I'm a nerd about like collecting trading cards, and that's why it really works that we sell a trading card product with Luca.
But I'll give you an IP bull thesis here, Spence.
All right, tell me.
Just like in this experiential, retail and just all of these lines of thought. In a world where AI really works the way that we think it's going to work, to the point where you might have to have some universal basic income, a lot of people. Now, I just disagree with that because I just believe that, once all these jobs get automated, we're going to start building spaceships that are going like taking people on a Saturday to fucking Mars. And everyone's going to be building that. Right. And there's going to be new industries that come out and evolve. But in a world where AI does automate a lot of the bullshit, I think entertainment is set for a J curve, right? Like anything that gives people comfort and makes people have fun. I think there's going to be a lot more people wanting to have fun, a lot more people consuming content. You're already seeing that, right? I just think like IP and entertainment is going to go up and to the right because in a world where you don't need to work 7 days a week or 5 days a week, and you only need to work 2 or 3 to make the same money, like you're going to go to that concert, you're going to go and watch that movie, you're going to go and buy those TCG cards at Target and rip them, right? So I actually think it's a beautiful time to be building IP and just anything in entertainment, because logically, like this is just me like running a logical line of thought. Like if I have to work less, right, and I make, more the same or around the same, right, I'm going to spend my time trying to have more fun, which is like an intrinsic, human nature.
And consider this, because right now, I think that specifically the time that you get back in your day is actually you're sitting there and you're running like Claude Code or ChatGPT and you're waiting for the generations to happen. You're waiting for it to run its thing. And like, it's actually not just like time in giant blocks. It's time like every 5 minutes you have 4 minutes every 5 minutes back is like this weird thing. And like, what do? I fiddle with cards on my desk. I open booster packs. I it is an activity that you can do in those 4 or 5 minutes in between is like, look at cards, experience cards, shuffle, like go through eBay listings. This kind of thing is like these sort of like very intermittent tasks that you can do. I think I'm very, very long these because it's like, you need like a dopamine hit that takes as long as Claude Code takes to generate, right? And like, there is no better dopamine hit in that period of time than like rip a booster pack. Or like open a collectibles product or like go through your collectibles collection and like look at them, right? And if those are the activities that you're doing while you're doing your productivity activities, which you need less and less attention to as a function of time, then like, guess what? You'll probably spend more on them. You'll probably do all these other things. And like, as you're saying, your productive time is as productive as that whole 5 minute block was before. but now like AI is doing the work and probably better, as a matter of fact, than you were doing it in the past. And then like you get to do whatever you want with your physical time. And this is also why I'm so long physical things. It's like AI feels all consuming. And I think it feels all consuming that it might pull you towards digital. But as we get more and more pulled towards digital, the physical experiences are more rare and more special. And I think that's why, like, I think you agree with this, that like one of the reasons that like both you and I care about physical stuff in a world of crypto where everything is so digital is like, well, when everything's so digital, the only things that feel real are the physical things, right? Everything feels kind of fake, and like holding them in your hand gets you a little bit over that hurdle.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's a great fucking take, dude. And look, you and I are, and our communities and our holders and the people who are part of our brands are going to benefit from that. I'm very certain.
Yeah, or we're gonna die trying. It's one of the two. There's no middle ground.
You can die in this. You can die in this business. I got gray hairs out the wazoo. You don't see it because I wear a hat.
Bro, at least you have hair.
No, you know what's crazy, Spence? I'm not. I'm gonna say it because it's funny. They're gonna meme it. But I'm gonna get a hair transplant, bro. If I took off my hat, you would not believe my fucking head. And I'm
Turkey
not gonna
trip?
do it.
Well,
No.
I got stuck in Istanbul on the way to Breakpoint this year, and I threatened PAX. I was like, dude, I'm coming back with hair. Like, but we can't. Like, I can.
You got the bald look going, so it looks good.
I'm zen about it,
dude. Like, I need a.
You gotta leave in. Just shave it.
I got a long head, dude.
Dude, if you shaved it, Pengu to the moon, I think.
Bald mode.
Yeah, bald
I
mode.
would shave it in a heartbeat if they would fucking send Pengu to the moon. If I shaved my head, but I just don't think it's a guarantee. But I gotta get a hair transplant, dude. My whole hairline's receded. I'm like mega mind fucking.
Or just shave it, dude. I think you got the face shape. You can pull it off.
No, I'm telling you, I've got a long head, bro. I'm telling you, it's a horse. It's like a horse's head.
I got you.
I've made it work over the years. I got a little fatter in the cheeks, but it's not good.
Yeah,
I've heard Luca Moggs.
Luca Moggs?
I've heard.
Dude, I saw the Korea photo shoot. Luca definitely Moggs.
Luca definitely Moggs.
They put extensions in my hair. I was receding then too. They just, dude, I was in Korea. We did this shoot. Dude, this guy literally made me look like 10 times.
Do you have these pictures? Are these out? Are these public or?
They're on my IG in 45 minutes. In 45 minutes, dude, the dude made me look from a fucking, a crypto founder that cares about his community with fucking gray hair and receding hairlines to like a K-pop white boy. It was pretty great.
Pretty great. Yeah, confirmed, chat confirmed, Luca Moggs.
That's so funny. Oh man, this was great. Spence, I hope you guys don't mind. I want to leave a little 10 minutes early. I know
You're good, dude. Thank you for coming on. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining the Burbathon and for everything that you do. And we'll see you on the other side of it. And
Big Burb, I know you got some big guests tonight. Gary V. Fuck. Was I supposed to say that?
I don't know who's coming on.
How it's said.
I don't know who's coming on. We'll see.
All right, we'll see you tonight. I'll be out tonight.
All right.
See you, Luca. Thank you.
Peace.
Bye.